Hello, I'm Jimmy Onstead. I work for FM Global, a property insurance company for the pulp and paper industry. I'm a staff vice president working in our research and engineering division. I've been with the company about 35 years, and all of my work is in the pulp and paper industry. I'm actually the principal engineer for FM Global for the forest products industry. So I help all of our engineers worldwide. We provide property insurance along with business interruption coverage. So we're insuring any physical damage that a client might have with regard to fire or boiler machinery breakdown, as well as the production loss at the mill until the repairs are made. That's pretty extensive, but obviously maintaining their fire protection systems is a big one. A lot of exposure with regard to pulp and paper storage and the process. Definitely the machinery from a mechanical, electrical, or pressure vessel standpoint in regard to protection and maintenance and upkeep. Operator training is, I think, one of the most important items out there with regard to where our losses are coming from in industry in general. Almost all losses today have some type of human element impact. Certainly may start with some mechanical damage or a fire, but what the operators do in terms of reaction is often the wrong action or no action. And it's a constant battle to see that the operators are properly trained. It's one of the areas where you need new machinery, but it's tough to put budgeting into a training program. But again, the operators are charged with a lot of responsibility in all areas of the mill, and probably the most important factor in why we have losses. Depending on the catastrophe that's being considered or the exposure, there are certainly steps that can be taken with regard to flood. We look at different kinds of, you can't stop the flood, but you can do some things to reduce the exposure. It may be moving materials to higher ground, maybe motors. It could be other areas where there's a way to divert the flood away from the mill and at least reduce the exposure. Wind, certainly we have recommendations for improvements with regard to roofs in wind-prone areas, earthquake bracing, safety shutoff valves on natural gas lines in earthquake areas. So definitely things that can be done. FM Global has a huge research center. It's known worldwide. We test these products as much as we can for manufacturers to see how they react in the different situations. So if they tell us it was made to do something, we test to see if it does. If it does, we recommend those products to our clients. Not to say other products won't work, but these at least we've tested and we know help reduce or avert some of these losses. The mills can take steps to reduce their exposures through, I think, begins with proper design of equipment. So working with the manufacturers to get the right design. They get the right protection that's recommended for those different kinds of equipment and exposures. And then you've got to maintain it properly on routine frequencies. And a lot of that's based on condition, but it's also driven by frequency at times. But to maintain all those systems, whether it's fire or boiler machinery. Cyber risk is certainly a emerging risk that everyone is beginning to look a lot more at. FM Global is no exception. Our company's putting groups together that are researching this as much as we can find out what to do, what we can suggest or recommend to our clients to do, and being able to reduce these exposures. We often don't think of a pulp and paper mill as being a target for cyber risk, but we've certainly seen instances already in the industry where particularly disgruntled employees, maybe IT people, were able to go in and change some things that have resulted in some physical damage to the mills. If the mill experiences a failure or a fire, they will contact FM Global if we're their insurance. And we will mobilize our field engineering staff to go out to look at the failure. We like to get there as quick as possible before too many things are disturbed, in an effort to try to understand what caused the loss. Just simply is an effort to understand what caused the loss and possibly come up with measures of what might prevent that one or another one someplace else. Obviously, our field adjusters are out there to work with our clients to adjust the claim. A new mill in the future is going to look so much different than anything I can possibly imagine, but I expect that it's going to be much more automated. I mean, everything's going that way. The thing that I think we'll have to expect with the increased automation is we're probably going to see less people in a mill and more of major control centers with fewer people out there making adjustments in the equipment. So it's probably going to be a very interesting process. Maybe no robots. I still believe we have to rely a lot on the human element piece, and as much as we do have some problems sometimes with operators or things that go wrong, I still believe that we need people to go out there and listen, look, and touch. And there's some things that automation just can't replace. Mill managers and owners should begin, I think, with their people. A lot of challenges in the future on new hires, finding people, attracting people to the pulp and paper industry, which I think is a good industry. Getting those people, training those people, putting them in the right position, finding out what their strengths and weaknesses are. Everything starts with the people. Then our other programs begin to fall in place when we look at designing of the systems, we look at the maintenance and repair of systems. We've got all the people in the right places that can do the right things. Lastly, make sure you get a good insurance company. FM Global would be a good one.